What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about Kirk Cousins, but if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content, hit that like button for your boy. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for your continued support, continuing to share out my content on all the social media platforms. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to talk about quarterback Kirk Cousins and would Kirk Cousins be a good fit with our Atlanta Falcons. Personally, I do believe if the Falcons decide to go with a veteran quarterback in free agency, I do believe that Kirk Cousins would be the best fit for our Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins is one of those guys that's a really good playmaker as far as using his arm. And we heard Zach Robinson state that they're looking for a quarterback that's smart, a guy that is a fast processor, a guy that understands how to get the ball out of his hands fast and get the ball into these young playmakers' hands. And I believe that Kirk Cousins is one of those guys. If he was, signed by our Atlanta Falcons, if the Minnesota Vikings decide not to re-sign him, I do think that he's the best quarterback out there on the market for our Atlanta Falcons. Because he's being coached by Kevin O'Connell, who's the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Kevin O'Connell is a former LA Rams coach. He is cut from that Sean McVay tree, similar to Zach Robinson, who's our new offensive coordinator. And because Kevin O'Connell and both Zach Robinson coached under Sean McVay, there is that connection as far as him being able to come in and pick up this Zach Robinson offense really fast, because both of these guys, both Kevin O'Connell and both Zach Robinson, are cut from that Sean McVay tree. So they're running a similar offense. So I do believe that Kirk Cousins could benefit if he were to come over to our Atlanta Falcons, because he's familiar with Sean McVay and familiar with those guys that fall under his coaching tree. Another thing that's been out there in the media currently percolating is basically Kirk Cousins' wife is from the state of Georgia. Her parents live in the state of Georgia, so he has family, or his wife has family in the state of Georgia. So they're making that connection that could be another reason why he may sign with the Atlanta Falcons. And it's also been mentioned that Kirk Cousins prefers playing in domes over playing outside. And we know that our Atlanta Falcons, we do have an indoor stadium similar to the Minnesota Vikings. So he'll be playing basically 8 games a year outside of the elements. And personally, I do think that Kirk Cousins doesn't get the credit that he deserves as being a really good quarterback. Outside of, him not winning the Super Bowl, he's been a guy that's been very productive in his career. If you go look at his stats, he is one of those guys that's very accurate with the football, usually completes over 65% of his passes a season. He has a really good completion percentage, and he has a bunch of 300-yard and 400-yard passing games. If you look at what he's been able to do as far as understanding how to use his weapons in Minnesota, he had guys like Dalvin Cook in the backfield. He's had Justin Jefferson over his career. He's had last season, Hawkinson was one of the most productive tight ends. And he's been really, really good at being a distributor of the football. So he's not a guy that will have to do a lot of heavy lifting. If he were to come to Atlanta, he would be one of those guys that could just come in and be that veteran guy, similar to what Matt Ryan was able to do in his first year with Kyle Pitts, when Kyle Pitts had his best season of his career with over 1,000 yards receiving, his only 1,000-yard receiving season. So I think if you bring in a guy like Kirk Cousins, he definitely can help guys like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, help these guys flourish. And I also think that he'll be good in the locker room for helping develop guys like Desmond Ridder that's currently on this roster. So if the Falcons decide not to draft a young quarterback, or even if they do decide to draft a young quarterback, it still may be a good idea to bring in a guy in Kirk Cousins. My only question mark for Kirk Cousins is how much money he's looking for. It's been rumors out there that he states that he wants about 45 million a year, that he's looking for at least a 2-year contract. So a $90 million contract over the next 2 years, 45 million guaranteed for each season. I don't know if the Falcons want to give up that type of money to a Kirk Cousins, because that prevents you from being able to bring in those ancillary pieces that you may need, as far as like another wide receiver or bringing in a star pass rusher. But if the Falcons are, hell bent on finding that quarterback that can come in, that's a veteran and win now, I do think that Kirk Cousins is one of those guys that definitely could benefit this Atlanta Falcons team. Because we're such a young team, he definitely would add some stability. And because we have a really good offensive line and a really good running game, Kirk Cousins is great in play action. And as I mentioned, he's really good at getting the ball out of his hands fast. He'll be able to help guys like Desmond Ridder understand that you don't have to make the big play. Just get the ball out your hands and complete as many passes as possible. Allow your running backs, allow your wide receivers to do the heavy lifting. And that's what Kirk Cousins has done outside, or for most of his career, with the Vikings and the Redskins, all of the teams that he's been on. He's been really good at understanding, being that point guard out there on the field as the quarterback, or being that being that floor general out there on the field, of getting the ball out his hands and letting those guys do the heavy lifting and run after catching, things of that nature. So with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts on Kirk Cousins. Do you think he'll be a good fit with our Atlanta Falcons? Personally, I think he would be a really good fit. Now, we know that he did also have that Achilles injury, so I'm definitely, interested to see how he comes back from that Achilles tear. But we know with modern medicine and things of that nature, now guys come back better than ever. So with that being said, hit that subscribe button for your boy. If you enjoy my content, I have a lot more content coming for you guys. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed, peace.